because you were 15 when you won your first gold medal at the Commonwealth Games.
Yeah.
When you what does that do to you when you hear that again, which you would have heard a million times?
It's funny. It's like it's another lifetime ago,
Yeah.
but it actually was an incredibly defining moment for me because I think I was one of these kids that was really lucky. I grew up on the Gold Coast. You're surrounded by this incredible weather.
Yeah.
There's water everywhere, either a beach or a lake or a pool. If you don't have a backyard pool, your neighbour does.
Yeah, right.
So there's water everywhere. It's part of the school curriculum growing up to learn to swim and have water confidence. And so, you know, I was 11 and I really fell into swimming, and the fact that a friend of mine said, "I'm going to join a swimming club, do you want to come?" And I went, "Yeah, sure."
Yeah, right.
So it started off at 2 afternoons a week, and I loved it so much that I begged Mum and Dad to go 3 afternoons a week, and it just grew from there. But it wasn't anything that I did. I knew I had a competitive spirit because
Right.
I came 13th in the state for 50 backstroke at the age of 13.
Right.
And I hated the fact that I didn't make the final. I was like, what do you mean? What do you mean? I train and I'm as tall as these girls. What's going on, you know? And so I went home and I was like, right, I get this now. I get that I've got to work hard for there to be a trade-off.
Yeah.
Yep. And but it wasn't until I made that Commonwealth Games team, and I literally got lucky. I came 3rd at the Nationals, and they usually only take the top 2, but because of my age and because of you know, they had extra numbers that they could put on the team, they took me for experience.
Right.
So here I was 15 on this Commonwealth Games team and surrounded by idols, Susie O'Neill, Samantha Riley, Kieran Perkins, these people that had been demigods to me, you know.
I feel like that's when swimming, like, I know it's still big, but I feel like then it was a whole other world.
It was, and it was quite an old team because the Sydney Olympics were only 2 years away, and a lot of athletes that probably would have retired stayed around
to do that.
To do Sydney,
Right.
a home Olympics, you only get one shot at it. It's huge. So I feel so fortunate that there were only a couple of us who were young on that team, but gained all this wisdom, learnt all this knowledge and experience from these people that had been there for so long. And I basically didn't speak for the first 6 months that I was on that team because I was just like watching and learning, and just knew that I had to. All the young ones knew we had to earn our respect through not only performance but by being a team member, a supportive, cohesive team member with this team. And so you certainly didn't go in there and ring your own bell. You really bade your time and moved up the ladder and quietly, you know, got to know everyone. And because this team was so incredibly cohesive as a team, and they knew their place and they knew whose job was what. And yes, it's an individual sport, but that team was first and foremost. And you loved being in the crowd, in the stands, with your war paint on, your zinc on your cheeks, and you're dressed up in your green and gold. And so that was a defining moment for me because I got to Commonwealth Games in Kuala Lumpur, and I realised that this wasn't just a hobby. This wasn't something that I did for fun. This is what I actually wanted to do. Like I actually wanted to make this a career and have a real go at it. And so before then I just bumbled along and done it because I love training. That was my defining moment. So when it all kind of came together and I won, it was a huge shock. I think the funniest thing was that they did have sport betting back then.
Oh yeah, right.
And I was 300 to 1.
No way! Oh my God, I wish I had put a bet on you.
I know, and everyone was so upset that they hadn't bet it because it was just so, it was never going to happen.
How funny.